Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Belly to Belly. And we're here today to talk about SelectUSA Prep. And for those that are going to SelectUSA, it's just such a massive event and such a great opportunity for companies coming into the US. We want to make sure you're really well prepared. So today we have great friend Teresa Gordon from Clayton and McKervey. Welcome, Teresa.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me. It's always great to talk about foreign direct investment into the U.S. and especially SelectUSA.
That's awesome. So we're going to, obviously this is fairly fast paced, but I know the company's coming. We want to make sure that they pre-connect with folks and that they get a real sense of the resources that are going to be there and available for them. Would you mind taking a minute or two and just talking about your practice and particularly what Clayton and McKervey does to help companies coming into the U.S.?
Yeah, absolutely. So just a little bit of background, Clayton McKervey is an accounting firm. We provide accounting and tax services for mostly middle market companies, both domestic and foreign owned. And for over 40 years, we've focused on companies that are investing into the US. And we can work with these companies in all stages of expansion and growth, but in particular, the planning and the startup phase is really where we can add a lot of value. We can help them get started off correctly, avoiding costly delays or mistakes, as well as we can help them gain some knowledge about the requirements to do business in the US, because there's quite a few areas that are different than really their home country or any other country. So the services we provide to these companies really is a broad range, because they need everything from basic day-to-day bookkeeping, which we can provide, all the way through their tax compliance and their planning, which is more complex when you have foreign ownership in a U.S. company. But Bill, I think our unique way that we can really support companies coming into the U.S. is we can take our expansive early expansion consulting experience, and we can bring that to their U.S. team of advisors, often serving as a point person for collaboration throughout the whole team. A couple examples of that are when you set up a company in the US, a lot of times you use an attorney to set up the legal entity, to get your organizing documents in order. That's the legal side of it. But there's a tax side of it too, because the most common question I get from companies expanding to the US is, how do I structure my company? Am I a corporation, an LLC? Like I said, there's a legal and a tax side. So together with the attorney, we provide a cohesive answer to the company for that question. Another example is a question I always ask companies when they're coming in. And this is a great question for companies to think about who are coming to SelectUSA. What role is that US company that they're setting up in the US? What role is it going to play in that global transaction, that sale of the global product to the US customer? Often when I ask this question, especially in the planning stage, companies don't have a concrete answer. So, whether they're going to be a sales office, whether they're going to distribute, how they're going to manage that split of profit now in the US and other countries, very important question. And so we can help companies have accounting and tax considerations and solutions that we can bring to them that they often don't yet have built into their business plan. And of course, other providers also have input from an operational perspective. So working together, we can really help a company early on with those questions. And I guess a final example is, every company has difficulty nowadays attracting and retaining a workforce that they need, and especially going into a new market. So while we don't provide payroll services, we have a network of people, of the providers that they need for global recruiting, for immigration, for payroll and benefits. And we work with that team that we help them put in place, and we address the tax aspects in that area. So those are three examples where not only can we provide accounting and tax services, but we really work with a company from day one to be part of that successful team to really support their success.
Oh, that's awesome, Teresa. Well, it's so great to hear about what you all do, and certainly I know It's such an incredibly valuable service for companies. So, obviously, we're going to meet up and we're going to see everybody here at SelectUSA. Why is it that you all participate?
Well, I think just the sheer volume of companies coming from all over the globe in one place that you can meet face to face, it's exciting. It's a great place to be for many reasons. Even just attending in person, you can spot trends in foreign direct investment. What countries do you see delegations coming to in greater numbers, like this year compared to last year? What industries are you seeing a lot of? What nuances in those industries are emerging? So it's, in person, there's so much going on, and you can really access a lot of information. But what I look for in coming to SelectUSA is to really meet with companies face to face, getting those questions asked to them, as well as answering their questions, get them thinking about what they may not know about the US market from an accounting and tax perspective, business perspective, start answering their questions, particularly about what does a tax structure look like in the US? That's a big question. But in addition to that, I think it's always been important for us to support the economic developers. This has started as an economic developer event. Companies come to talk to different states to understand the tax incentives, the workforce options, all of that in the different regions. And I myself attend as part of the Michigan team where I'm located, where our office is located. And I attend meetings with economic developers to be there to answer those tax questions that come up, or as as a next step when they hear questions that aren't in their area of expertise. And so that's been a really important part. That's kind of how our participation started. And it's just, we found that it's so mutually beneficial to them as well as to us to talk to those companies together. So in addition, not just Michigan, but I always meet other economic developers too and have those same kinds of conversations. I think another important aspect for me is to meet other service providers who are focused on foreign direct investment, expanding my network, and really meeting people that have that, because there's a lot of professionals who are experts in their field, but a company also wants to work with professionals who are expert in foreign direct investment, because there's nuances to it that, only people who do it all the time know how to cut through and get it done correctly and efficiently. So meeting other professionals is great to expand my network. And finally, this year I get to participate in one of the investor guide sessions. I'm going to be on the market entry panel. So that's exciting to have an opportunity to interact with companies and other professionals attending that way as well.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. So, thinking about the folks listening and coming to SelectUSA, most won't have been to SelectUSA before, and many may not have been to the US before. We're obviously going to be in Washington, D.C., National Harbor, beautiful place. But, are there, whether it's specifically taking advantage of SelectUSA or this trip to the US in May, what are there any tips that you would share with companies that are going to be coming to get the most out of the experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Attending the SelectUSA event gives an opportunity to connect and gather information there's many opportunities. So certainly there's receptions and multiple opportunities to network and connect with people spontaneously, and encourage people to take advantage of that. Don't only focus on the state that you're thinking about locating in, but meet people who are there, and there's ample opportunity to do that. There's also the platform, the matchmaking platform. And I encourage people to, in advance, do their homework, take a look at who's attending. You can filter it by location, by type, by industry. There's a lot of ways to get to looking at who you might want to meet with. And this can be focused on economic developers. I mentioned that earlier. A lot of people are still deciding where in the US they should be when they expand to the US market. And so they're looking to really talk to economic developers. And also, I would encourage people not to forego looking at the service providers. because this is an opportunity to ask those questions, to connect with people. And in particular, most service providers can work with a company no matter where they land in the US. So I'm located in Michigan, but I have clients throughout the US. So don't limit your search to service providers who you can connect with and ask questions of, just because you think you might be going to one area. You can really access and talk to people from anywhere in the US. And finally, the investor guide sessions, they should attend those that speak to them, that there's a lot of different topics and a lot of information that can be gained. So if it fits into their schedule and something speaks to them, connects with them, it's a great place to gather more information. I would also say I see a lot of companies, if they know of an area or two where they might be looking to locate, in addition to attending the event, they either attend spin-off events that are held before or after, or even making arrangements with economic developers and the network from that area to have meetings and tours and really add to their trip to the US.
Wow, that was fantastic. No, it was a lot of really great tips, from kind of the preparation to the taking advantage of the spin-offs and certainly all the networking capability. I love, the app is certainly a really powerful tool, and making that matchmaking is helps everybody be prepared and productive. So, well, great. Thank you, Teresa. This has been, I think, really, really productive, and I know it's going to be very helpful for the companies coming. So our encouragement to folks coming is certainly reach out to Teresa, preset appointments. Obviously, it's really nice when you get to the event, if it's your second conversation or third conversation, as opposed to preliminary, which obviously it's just going to prolong the process of interaction. So we're going to put Teresa's contact info in the description area, and all the details for SelectUSA. So thank you again, Teresa, and really appreciate you spending the time with us today.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to connecting as SelectUSA.